This is TWiT.
Scientific American asked the artificial intelligence GPT-3 to write an academic paper about itself and then tried to get it published.
I don't think they were trying to be smart-assed about it and do it, sneakily. They were trying to say, let's actually publish this, and issues got raised. What's the byline? Who's the author?
Yeah, who's the author?
How do you attribute things?
This is the same problem with Microsoft's Copilot, their GitHub Copilot. Who's the author of the code you're stealing, right? Who is the author of an artificial intelligence generated? Because the algorithm is pulling, with Copilot anyways, pulling actual human written code snippets. Right. GPT-3 is trained on actual human writing. It makes a mockery of copyright because the samplers in hip hop who use stuff from all around, all GPT-3 is textual hip hop. It's sampling from all over. It's sampling. Yeah, it's sampling, and it's predicted.
At least in the hip hop world, those guys and gals tend to go and get a license agreement from the people they're sampling, because they've all been sued so many times. It's sort of standard.
They didn't
protocol.
at first, is what you're saying.
After the Pretty Woman
in the 80s,
case,
yeah,
right?
that's a different story. In the 80s, yeah, it's different. But the 1990s, yeah, they had all learned. Yep.
They sampled Roy Orbison. Is that what they did?
That's it. The Pretty Woman case.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Oh, what?
At the Supreme Court.
It went to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. It was a very key decision. It was actually really important for remix culture, but I think it paved the way, as Ant's saying, for licensing. It opened up all opportunities because there was a framework as opposed to being ambiguous.
Luther Campbell, a.k.a. Luke Skywalker, versus Acuff Rose Publishing. Justice Souter in 1994 delivered the opinion of the court. Luther R. Campbell, Christopher Wong, Mark Ross, and David Hobbs, collectively known as Two Live Crew, sampled Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Acuff Rose's agent refused permission, stating, "I am aware of the success enjoyed by the, quote, Two Live Crews, but I must inform you we cannot permit the use of a parody of Oh Pretty Woman. Two Live Crew released records, cassette tapes, and compact discs of Pretty Woman in a collection of songs called As Clean as They Want to Be.
Man, they were all over
funny.
The news back then.
That's
they
funny.
They were all over the news. That album and their non-clean album, and then there was the parental discretion stickers that were put on. It was pretty much them that had all of that stuff put into place back then.
So
parental advisory, I should say, not discretion.
Supreme Court found that it was fair use through parody and allowed.
That's right. Because that was fair use. This is something I'm sure Jeff has volumes to say about this, but one of the fundamental
I have volumes
flaws,
to say about anything.
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot. The fundamental flaw with fair use is it's a doctrine as opposed to something that you could just figure out. So there have been talks about the copyright, the U.S. Patent and Copyright Office, or the U.S. Copyright Office, rather, setting up an expedited fair use sort of trial court. So you'd be able to go and kind of say, here's what I want to do, and would this be fair use? And there's a lot of restrictions around it, but without it, you're open to massive copyright liabilities, or your case goes all the way to the Supreme Court, as in that one.
The great Harvard lawyer Larry Lessig says that fair use is the right to hire a lawyer.
That's right.
Oh, man. This will date me, but Suzanne Vega had this issue with Fatboy Slim very early in Fatboy Slim's career. Tom's Diner remix, and I think that she actually in the end settled. Yeah, my recollection.
She was okay with it because she made a ton of money out of it.
Yeah, it was pretty great. It was a great remix.
We had Suzanne Vega come in and sing the original a cappella version on the screensavers because it was used. It has a tech angle. It was used by the Fraunhofer Corporation for improving the algorithm of MP3 compression with human voice.
Wow.
So we had Suzanne in, we talked to her, and we had her sing the song, and I sat 5 feet away from her as she was singing Tom's Diner. One of the best songs of all time. Although Fatboy Slim's remix is the big hit.
It's clever. He's 30 years later, and he's still doing his thing too. She's still out touring.
She's still good. Yeah, absolutely. She's still performing. She's wonderful.
Well, touring again just now.
Yeah.
So Scientific American had to ask the computer whether it was okay to cite the computer as the author.
And what the computer
and then
say?
had to ask the computer said yes. Then they had to ask the computer whether it had any conflicts of interest, because you have to do that. It said no. And it's all, there is obviously a joke here, is that they're treating it as a sentient being after the whole lambda idiocy.
Yeah.
But I'm having such fun thinking about what all you can do with this stuff.
Yeah. Wow. You actually asked GPT-3 to write an op-ed.
I did.
About your favorite topic.
Uh-huh.
Moral panic. Dark mode. Not dark mode. Moral panic. Although you might have had more success.
I might have.
Yeah. So should I read what
Sure.
GPT-3 wrote? Is it worth reading?
Well, I asked it to write three things. I asked it to write an op-ed about moral panic. Then I asked it to write a short story with a hero about moral panic. And then I asked it to write a blurb for my book about moral panic. So
let me put it this way.
It's all in the thread. Take
I
your
wouldn't
choice.
call any of these an example of sentience.
No.
The internet is often blamed for the ills of society, but is it really to blame? Moral panic over the internet is nothing new. In the early days of the internet, people were concerned, quote, that children would be exposed to pornography and violence. It never ends that quote, by the way.
That sounds just like Mr. Jarvis.
Yeah. Okay, that's the article. Let's hello.
The short story. It's in the thread.
Here's the short story. The GPT-3, a story about a hero who defends the internet against claims moral panic is destroying society. Harrison Ford, amazingly enough, is playing the hero.
Shall I do this one?
Yes.
When society began to crumble, the internet was there to pick up the pieces. It was a safe haven for those who were lost.
Yes.
And it was a place where people could connect with others who were going through the same thing.
Yes.
The internet was a lifeline for many people, and it was the only thing that kept them going.
Yes.
However, there were some who saw the internet as a threat. They believed it was destroying society. It was full of pornography and violence. They tried to get the government to shut down the internet, but they were unsuccessful. There was one man.
Oh, Lord.
One tall, white-haired man who saw the internet as a force for good. He was a hero, and he fought for the rights of the people who used the internet. He defended the internet against the claims of moral panic, and he showed the world that it was a valuable resource. Thanks to him, the internet is still around today, and it is still helping people to connect with each other.
You know, that's actually pretty good. It's got an arc. It's got a protagonist and an antagonist, and that's pretty good.
You can rewrite it into a voiceover, like in a world
where one man,
society, pornography, and violence. The government tried to shut down the internet.
So then I asked it to do a blurb for a book about moral panic by me, because I am actually working on a book proposal, and it was kind of bland. So then I said, "Can you be more enthusiastic?" And it was.
Oh, it's nice to have a little plastic pal that'll keep you friends.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Blurb-romantic.
Yeah.
I sent my first book years ago to an author I won't name to humiliate right now, because he did me a favor to blurb it, and I got back the blurb within 30 seconds.
Oh, that's too quick. That's because he didn't want to read the book, and he just thought, "I'll just get him off."
Of course not. I'll give you a blurb.
So here's the more enthusiastic. This book is a must-read for anyone who wants to understand the internet. Jeff Jarvis provides a clear and concise defense of the internet against claims of moral panic. Wow. Good job. It's a little bit like a ninth grader, but okay, that's good.
Yeah, it is. It is. This stuff is such fun.
It's never feels like a machine didn't write it, though, right?
Of course. Okay. Yeah, and it is all it does is predict the next word that would work best, and work best means that would satisfy us. That's all it's doing. And people are noticing as they're using this that it gives back wrong answers all the time, because it's not tied to facts.
Right.
It's tied to the
flow
corpus of what we've talked about on the net.
Right.